All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Sunday gathering for Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut. Today is December the 18th, and we're here on Toki TV, gathering as we do each and every single week. I really wish you guys could see Deb Cruz when we're back. The intro video playing because you would think she was leading an orchestra because she's been singing and dancing, and it's thank you, Deb, for being here with us because it wouldn't work, and I probably wouldn't smile as big if you weren't.
Let her go home.
You could tell she's singing. It's awesome. Um, Gosh, you guys know what to do. Type your names in the chat. Say hello. People are starting to do that. Ola, I love that you're here with us from Germany every single week. Yeah, and Stephanie and Gloria and Donna and Tim and yeah, just everyone. Thanks for being with us. We have a lot to go over today. Good, exciting, sad, inspiring. We've got a lot to cover today. And so just thank you all for being with us. But to go ahead and get us grounded and centered before we do some check-ins. If you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes. Let's just do some breathing. And while we're doing breathing, as we take our deep breaths in, breathing in peace, holding, breathing out slowly, breathing out love. We're going to listen to the Lummi National Anthem, the flood song, while we do this. And so it's our quiet time. And everyone, if you will, just, again, if you're comfortable, close your eyes while we do this. Thank you. Thank you for being with us. I want to do some quick check-ins before we get into the show. And when we get into talking about the conference that just happened this last week, I want to start with Raynell. But let's all just do some quick check-ins. Raynell, how are you? How are you feeling this morning, afternoon?
Well, it hasn't stopped since the conference. So it's like sparkles all over the place. And I haven't landed on Earth yet, but when I do, I'm sure I'll sleep.
Thank you. Alejandro, how are you today?
Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm very happy today. You know, my country, Argentina, was a World Cup champion. I told my nephew before traveling to Qatar. I said, listen, Argentina will be the next champion, but and Tokita will get released. You know, so I'm so happy. But no, we have an amazing event on December 13th. Um, I want to take time, a few seconds now to honor Ken Balcomb, who passed away this week, for everything he did for the Southern Residence Orcas. Thank you so much, Ken Balcomb.
Thanks, Alejandro. And we're going to be dedicating the second half of today's TV to talk more about Ken and just the amazing light he has been to bring us up to this point. And so thank you for mentioning that. Christina, how are you this morning? Afternoon? I don't know why I say it's morning.
I'm good. I'm happy to be here. I as well am still, not quite here and still, a lot of stuff going on, but it's all good. So yeah, I'm good. I'm happy.
Thank you. Deborah?
I'm the same, kind of feeling like wobbly, but happy and excited, kind of like you feel after getting off a roller coaster. But all in all, much, much better today. Much better.
Awesome. Deb Cruz?
I'm grounded.
Hey, at least one of us
Well,
is.
someone needs to be.
Yeah, y'all can float away. I'm here.
She doesn't talk too much. We know that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that because I need someone to hold on to. So thanks for being the grounded one today, Deb. Yeah, so December 13th. Wow. Just this past Tuesday, you guys in Miami, Toki, present and future, a day of listening. If you didn't listen to the day of listening, I really encourage you to do so. And you can go onto YouTube and look up Friends of Toki. And it is the only video on that channel right now, and it is 7.5 hours long. It is the entire conference, most of it video streamed, part of it audio streamed because of the changing of rooms that we had to do there. But if you haven't, I suggest doing that and listening to the morning. And if you don't listen to anything else, listen to the last maybe 30 minutes of the morning session where we heard from Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut, because wow. If that's what I went to hear, that's what I went to experience. I will say experience because it was an experience listening to you, Raynell. So thank you for what you brought to the conference, for her, for everyone listening, for all the advocates. I mean, you really just made that an experience of love, and I'll stop talking and I'll let you talk more about that.
Well, this is what I'm told all along the way from when the sacred obligation was given to me, that the conference wouldn't have happened if Lactamish culture wasn't driving it and guiding her. And the ancestors are clearing her path. So if those two things weren't in alignment, the conference wouldn't have happened. Mr. Singh wouldn't have been in our path and walking this journey with her and with us. Charles Vinnick wouldn't be on our path walking this journey with Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut and us. Mr. Elbor, who came in the journey down the road a bit, but he's walking the path with Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut and us. So I raise my hands to the ancestors that always know what needs to happen. And as long as we listen and take on their guidance, we keep progressing and moving forward for our relative Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut. So I just have to make sure that, and I'll say it over and over again, this is Lactamish led. This is the benefit of our ancestors doing the work, clearing her path. And I'm grateful that we had the opportunity to gather. Many of you I've only either seen on Facebook or on TokiTV Zoom. I got to see you in person. That was a blessing. And the day was just full of blessings all along the way from the moment I walked into the conference room. And it still hasn't stopped. The blessings are still coming. The sparkles are brighter. So I'm forever grateful and continue to do the work.
Thank you. So many good things happened last week. And like you said, seeing and connecting with people face to face was, I mean, I had the blessing to meet Alejandro a month ago, when I was out there. But prior to that, I hadn't. I spend more time with Alejandro than I do with, many people in my life. And so that was really nice. And being able to hug Christina and Deborah for the first time and just know that we're all, family in this. That was one blessing. That was one blessing of the conference. To stand there and feel the energy of the room when you spoke, though, Raynell, I'm going to say that again. That was the most powerful piece of the conference for me. Wow. Like if anyone is her voice, it is you. And Alejandro's so cute. Yesterday he says, well, Raynell needs to be on the show, and she is, and she's our leader. And I said, she is the matriarch of our pod. And so what you bring to the table, we follow. And I raise my hands to the ancestors for choosing you to bring this message and gather all of us, because we just love you so much. And Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut deserves the love that you give. And so again, I just I will take that piece of the audio of the video, and I will create that separately, just so that everyone gets the opportunity to hear that, because they should. And so you guys, I'm sorry I didn't do that. I've been sleeping a lot. I've been back up very busy. So but I will absolutely have that ready to go. I want each of us to just kind of share our perspectives on the conference, but I'm going to play a quick 1-minute video, because this was the second piece for me that was super important, and it's very short, but it's from my phone. So I apologize that the audio might not be that great. Again, I haven't had time to go in and do like professional video editing, but it's what Al Bor said regarding his stance. So I'm going to play that for you guys now.
I'll probably proceed on that, but it is very important that you are aware that it depends on many people that especially agree that this is the best for Turkey. And that was my first commitment to Friends of Lolita. I will agree on what people, the experts, says this is the best for Turkey. And not necessarily is what I want, but we have to follow the opinion of the experts. And in this case, yesterday, they were asking me, and even some of the people from the county say, what will be your position? And I tell you in front of all you, my position is very simple. I will support what the people that knows what is the best tells me what is the best. And that has to be this dream team, the dream team of our best. Obviously, USDA, National Marine Fisheries, and if all them says, hey, this is possible, it can be done, I'll be 100% supporting this. But it's whatever is the best for Toki.
100% support. And that was something we've all been waiting to hear, right? I mean, 2 months we thought something was going to come out in the news, and so we're all watching, from wherever we are, we're all watching Florida news. I think we all have the little dings on our phone anytime there's he was in Florida, you know, I know more about what's going on in Florida weather than I do here. Just following it, but that was a very important statement. And it's a longer video, but I don't know how many times he said what's best for Toki, what's best for Toki, and relying on the people sitting at that table and the vets, some really amazing people there, guys on Toki's team, really amazing people on Toki's team. And he's saying he will take their advice. He will listen to that dream team. And, you know, I mean, we all know Dr. Norman and, you know, Dr. McBain, I mean, just fabulous veterinarians there on her behalf. So the other piece, I'm doing three. The third most powerful piece for me was the fact that that dream team got to hear from you who were typing in comments, from Deborah, from Christina, from Alejandro, because it's a different perspective when you have people speaking because they love her. So they got to hear your guys' love for her. And to me, that was profound. I didn't go up and speak on my own behalf. I went and spoke on behalf of Howard Garrett, which I was very honored to do. And at the end, they were saying, "Well, come on up and we'll say something." I said, "Well, I get to talk every week on TokiTV," and I really just wanted that space for everyone who made that trip and that journey to be able to speak. And such powerful voices, Alejandro, Christina, and Deborah, you were for her, speaking from a place of love. So thank you guys for that. And let's go with Deborah. Deborah, your perspectives on the conference.
It was, like I said, I keep coming back to the metaphor of a roller coaster, because like the highs were so beautiful, and then there'd be a little bit of get high and beautiful again. And so roller coaster. And I really wish everybody who loves and advocates for her could have been there and spoke to these people and had the ability to, every stakeholder that I spoke to, they looked you in the eye and they spoke to you, you know, and to me, that was huge. And even if you disagreed with something or you agreed with something, that merely the fact that they would listen to us, even if it was what they didn't want to hear, all I got was a whole lot of love for her from their side too. So that's my take on it. After a lot of mulling things around, is that these people genuinely love her the same way we do. And I mean, for anybody that has the courage to look a screaming activist in the eyes, that's a good person. So that's my take.
Thanks for saying that. And no one knew what the day was going to look like, right? I mean, but they showed up and they wanted to be in that conversation with people. So hats off to everyone who sat at that table to listen. Yeah. And Deborah, your words were beautiful.
Thank you. I still kind of sort of can't remember what was said. What I said.
You'll have to go back and watch it.
Maybe.
I'm sitting there like keeping her under the table, like, get up there. Beautiful. Because you spoke from your heart.
It was all from my heart. Yeah, all the notes were gone. I was like, it was a good day.
Yeah. Christina, how about for you, your perspective on the day?
Well, I thought it was wonderful. I mean, honestly, the opening, Samuel playing the flute, I could feel the ancestors just filled the room, and it just made me feel safe, really safe, you know. And there were so many amazing things that happened. I think that, you know, Mr. Albor, that was huge for me, and everyone else I know. And I wanted to just big shout out to everyone who did write those letters to Mr. Albor, asking him to set Toki free. that meant a lot, and I know that helped. And I have so much gratitude for him and for Mr. Singh, and like you said, just everyone on the panel. I had the honor of eating lunch with a bunch of amazing people, including Raynell, and I got to have lunch with Toki's trainers, which was amazing, and they were just so beautiful, and you could just tell that they love her so much. And just knowing and being able to talk to them and know that they love her so much was just warms my heart. They want to do whatever is best for her, and they were willing to come out here and be with her, and just everyone all the love. There was just so much love from everyone taking care of her, and it was overwhelming. It was definitely overwhelming, and I just have so much gratitude for everyone really. And yeah, still kind of hard to articulate what, I mean, it is still sinking in too. So, but I think there's too many pieces that for me to say what I love the most, but I definitely can say that when Raynell spoke, I had tears in my eyes, and I'm so just honored to be there. Yeah, thank you guys. It was great.
Thank you. Yeah. That deep breath. I've been doing that a lot. Each time I take myself back there, and yeah, just deep breath. I don't, just, there was a lot, like Deborah said, there was just a lot. And, but I just want to again say thank you to, Friends of Toki and the Dolphin Company and the county and the advocates and everyone who came together to make that happen, because it was historic, and I'll say it, and I'll keep saying it, and I'll keep saying it. I mean, that this has never happened before, when all parties involved are able to be in a room having lunch, much less in the same place, but in the same room and at the same tables, and this mixture of people. And not just like, oh, they better listen to us and they should have had a day of listening, blah, blah, blah. No, it was important to listen to them too, and to hear where they are and their love and their heart, and listening to that. And speaking of heart, I mean, Alejandro, not just the big heart. Thank you, Alejandro, for posting so many pictures. People in my life says, well, thank God for Alejandro, because you didn't post anything. And I'm like, I was busy. I was really, really busy. And so, Alejandro, what was your?
Yes, my
Thank
perspective.
you.
No,
My wife thanks you. My family thanks you
bueno,
for
no,
posting pictures.
no, always I will do that, and I keep putting the links, Sacred Sea, or Canada, all the people who is involved helping TokiTV. First of all, I'm gonna start just saying thank you so much. I feel so much gratitude for Raynell, for Ellie, for Samuel. I feel so much respect for the Lami people. I want to honor, I received an amazing gift from the Lami people, and I want to honor the chief here. The chief is here in front of me, and I'm gonna read what is in the back. Lakshmi's culture is guiding Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut, and our ancestors are clearing her path home. Hashka for your love and prayers for our relative Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut. Together we will bring her home. I have Charles Binnick. I give a hug to Chef Foster, to the vets. I looked at their eyes and said, thank you so much for everything you are doing for Toki. We will bring her home. Haishka.
Thank you, Alejandro.
You're welcome.
A couple more breaths. Just take a couple more breaths. There's a lot. Deb Cruz, you were watching, and your perspective on the day. from a viewer who is not in the room.
And that was a disadvantage because I'm in a place of guarded optimism. So not having been physically present to be there with everyone, I don't have the same level of optimism as you guys do. But it's there.
Yeah. Thank you. And I know, gosh, I mean, we did our best, right, to try to get it live streamed and to include, but you're right. It's not the same when you're not
Nope.
sitting at that table, you know, and having that
Yep.
contact with people and feeling people's energy exchanging as you're having those conversations. So thank you for that very honest overview of that. And, you know, that's something to keep in mind if there's another conference, but I think she's going to be home before any other conference can be planned. And so that's what I'm holding to. But thank you. And Deb, thank you for holding space from there as well for all of us who were there.
And for our Bridge of Light. Thank you.
Yes, for the Bridge of Light the night
I
before.
was pretty busy, but it was beautiful. But
It was
thank you.
great. We all gathered to create that space for love to show up. And I feel like we did that on that Monday night. And it couldn't happen without Deb Cruz. So Deb was reading it. And then our Thursday prayer couldn't happen without Deb Cruz too, because I was like flying off, just passing people with my suitcase trying to get off get into the airport. So Deb ran that, and thank you, Deb. Raynell, I want to go back to you to just close, if you will, our conversation regarding the conference for today. We're going to be talking about this for a while, but I do want to go back to you with it.
I appreciate that, because what I did want to share with everyone is Mr. Elbor, before the conference started, found me. I'm sure he talked to other people, but he came up to me and he took my hand and he looked me in the eye and said, "You have my word. I will do everything possible to bring your relative home." And so it wasn't just what he said to, kind of appease people listening and at the conference. I believed him when we connected energies and we connected hearts and our spirits. I believe he was genuine and authentic when he said it to me, when he said it to the conference attendees and listeners, when he said it to Louis Channel 10, when he was interviewed. So for him to proclaim that in so many different ways, I believe him. And I don't know if everyone was able to hear from him, but one of the reasons that he's been compelled to progress and move forward and continue to partner with Friends of Toki is one of his daughters. He has two. His youngest one, from the very beginning when they bought the park, told her dad, "She's in a small tank, Dad." And as parents, we know to have the respect from our children is everything. And when they tell us their truth and we own that and that becomes our truth, I believe him. There's a lot more to come. This was historic. There were many people that were there in the conference. Our ancestors, our late Chief Sk'aliCh'elh, there were other live energies from those around the world that were being represented. The indigenous people that showed up to stand with the Lakhtamish people were what we do. It was their love and honor and support is everything. So there is more to come. And I hope people understand that and have that love and honor and respect, that we're going to move as fast as we can, but she's our guide. Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut is going to tell us, spirit-wise, health-wise, what she's ready for. So I'm going to ask you to continue to pray, to continue to love, and surround her with that. She needs it. She continues to ask for it, but she's doing well. You know, they did say that she had to go back on her antibiotics, but that's going to happen. So we just need to continue to have those good thoughts. And I just know that she feels all of that love. When we were doing the, the Love of Light event, and we all put our hand toward her because we were so close toward her and so close to the water. By raising our hand and sending that love and energy, she received it. So we need to continue that.
Thanks right now.
Ashka.
You did it again. You did it again, being her voice so perfectly, and inspiring hope and love for her and with us, and reminding us that why we're here, right? Why we're here to lift her up. We're gathering for her every single week and twice a week, actually. And because we do our prayer and meditation on Thursday nights, and we will keep on.
Mm-hmm.
We will keep
Yes.
on. She
Yes.
keeps on, and we will keep on. And so thank you. And that was so powerful in the Bridge of Light when Raynell had all of us turn, and we all turned and had our hands up, and so many beautiful people there, you guys. I mean, Suzanne, McAllister, Suzanne, I'm sorry. I didn't, I was busy. I told myself I wasn't going to get busy and I was going to sit and do the conference, but this is not what Annette does. So Annette was very busy and didn't spend as much time with people as I would have liked to, like Christine and Suzanne and some of the other folks, Taylor, who were there. But I just want to thank everyone for being there and showing up on Monday night for that Bridge of Light. I do think that set the tone for the conference, and just really appreciate everyone being there. And I'm gonna try to get through this part. I'm just gonna try to get through this part. So on this conference happened on Tuesday, and I know there was a lot going on, and I was there and reading Howard's words for Howard, because Howard was with his brother, and Ken Balcomb, Howard's brother, let go on Thursday morning, December the 15th. And I know he heard, and I know he felt the energy of the conference, and something he fought so hard for. I hope that was comforting for Ken. So I'm gonna read this. This is from the Center for Whale Research site. With profound sadness, the Center for Whale Research announces the passing of our beloved founder and longtime leader, Kenneth C. Balcomb. Ken's family and loved ones surrounded him in his final hours on December the 15th, 2022. He was 82 years old. Ken was a pioneer and legend in the whale world, but more importantly, he was the North Star, a guiding light. Over half a century of whale research and advocacy, he lit a path for tens of thousands to follow. He was a scientist with a deep-rooted love and connection to the whales and their ocean habitat. He inspired others to appreciate both as much as he did. Ken spent much of his career detailing and documenting the lives of the southern resident orca population in the Pacific Northwest Salish Sea. His groundbreaking orca survey study determined that the resident orcas needed more food abundance in a healthy habitat to survive. He continually heralded his message to the world: no fish, no blackfish, no Chinook salmon, no southern resident orcas. The Center for Whale Research Southern Residence Orca research began in 1976. It is the longest study of this population. Ken's goal was always for Center for Whales research to continue for 150 years, provided there were whales to study. All of us at the Center for Whale Research share Ken's vision and mission to preserve and protect the magnificent southern resident killer whales. He often said about the critically endangered southern residents, "I'm not going to count them to zero, at least not quietly." The Center for Whale Research Board of Directors and staff are dedicated to continuing Ken Balcomb's life work. Thank you, Ken. We will carry you in our hearts forever.
Amen.
Amen.
So thank you to Ken for really inspiring so many. I know every single person on the screen, just inspiring with your dedication and your passion and helping us to continue to live ours. And I said this on Thursday, and I know he will be making big waves from the other side, also working to bring Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut home because she was in his heart, which we're going to watch a video in just a little bit, him talking about her and her coming home. But if I didn't know, there's going to be a memorial, and I'm supposed to have this figured out here. So on Wednesday, December the 21st, to coincide with the winter solstice, a time of rebirth, reconnection to the natural world, and a return of light and hope. I'm going to do my best to, there's some final details that need to be figured out. So I'm going to encourage everyone to keep checking the Orca Network Facebook page and also the Center for Whale Research Facebook page. But there's going to be some on San Juan Island at Jackson's Beach. And tentatively it's at 3:00 right now. But again, please go and check the site to make sure. And there's also a vigil planned on Whidbey Island, tentatively starting at 5:30. Again, keep checking back, and we'll post it on this page as well, from the Langley Well Center. And, you know, there's going to be an opportunity to write some messages to Ken. But again, they're working out the details. So don't quote me on those times. Just keep checking the page. But they're encouraging everyone to do this from wherever you are. Everyone is invited to participate in this candlelight vigil. So if you're at home, if you're by yourself, if you want to organize some people to get together when you're there, they're saying anytime in the afternoon or evening of the 21st, which is Wednesday, right, guys? Wednesday, yeah. So please do that. And if you do something and you would like to record it and send it to us. I don't even know what our email address is. I think it's here we go. This is an old thing, but you can also send any videos that you take to TokiTV 2022 at gmail.com. And, whatever you guys send in, I can gather and make sure that the family is able to get those. Just a side note. So willing to do that. We have a couple of videos to watch. One is about Ken, and then one is about Ken talking about Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut coming home. But does anyone else want to say anything before I play those videos right now?
Well, when things like this happen and people that we love and respect make their journey, the first thing that came to mind to me was he was a whale warrior here on Earth. And his love and respect for Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut, the orcas, was part of who he was.
Oh, she froze. I don't know, Raynell, if you can maybe turn your video off. You froze again. They're having high winds where Raynell is. All right, I'm gonna.
Can she hear us? Nope, she's gone.
I'm not sure. I moved her to the back, and just until I can see her not frozen, she might have to go back out and come back in without video. Christina, I don't want to put anyone on the spot. I just don't want to move past anyone either if somebody wants to say something. So
I just know that he'll be working from the other side to get Toki home, just like the ancestors. I think that's what she was gonna say. But I just know he already is, and and he'll always be in our heart because he is a wonderful man.
Raynell? The audio's not connected. I don't know if you can hear me, but Do you mind to go back? There she is. Let's see, now try. Oh, darn. It says device not connected. So again, there's high winds there. Deborah, is there anything that you would like to say? You're muted.
Sorry, my dogs.
Yeah.
My feeling is, you know, the solstice, it couldn't be more profound that his vigils are on that day, the darkest time just before the light comes. And this could be the light for 2023, you know, with him behind everybody's back. I have good feelings. I have good feelings, even though I have sad feelings. I have good feelings.
Alejandro?
Yes, I want to say just thank you so much to Eduardo Albor, because I know he will make possible for Toki to go back home in 2023. Working together, we will bring her home. One heart, one mind. Thank you so much.
Deb Cruz, anything before I show the videos of Ken?
Ken was is a big pair of shoes to fill. And so it's going to take all of us to step up and try to carry on.
Yeah.
Carry his work forward, carry his dream forward.
There we go. Thank you for putting that up. Susan said, here's an experience Howie and I had 24 hours after Ken passed. December 16th, I woke up around 2:15 a.m. to use the restroom and saw what I first thought was a deer out of the bathroom window. Then I realized it was too big for a deer. Then another came and another, and soon there were several dozen elk in the yard right outside the front of the house in Ken's room.
Wow.
I woke Howie up and we watched through the sliding doors and side windows of Ken's room where we had spent so many, and it's cut out, and I will try to find it because I know she sent that to me as well. But it ends by her saying, you know, they had asked Ken to send them a message, and they got that 24 hours after. And then the elk started messing with the Christmas decorations, and they all had a good laugh. And they said that's Ken. That was Ken. So thank you, Susan, for sharing that. I'm sorry that it cut out. Right now, I'm going to try to put you back in, but it's saying that your devices are not connected. So if you don't mind to get out and then try to come back in, it won't let me add you. It won't let me add you back to the stream because it says you're not connected to your mic or your cam. So I'm sorry. I have two videos in, and this is going to take us past. One is a 9-minute video. It's about Ken. And then there's an 11-minute video with Ken and Howard just talking about Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut. So I think I'm going to play that one first, and then we'll end with the news clip about who Ken was. So I'm going to go ahead and try to play that now. And thank you all for being with us. And please keep checking back on the candlelight vigil for the solstice on the 21st. I think, I know I will be doing something. So, all right, here we go. It's not adding it. Hold on, let's see. Go.
You ever wonder what keeps Toki alive? How is she able to survive 50 out of the 51 years in captivity in that tiny little band? Well, I think the natural lifespan of females we know now is way longer than we ever expected. It's like, 80 to 100 is definitely achievable. And, even in the early years, we thought the average could be at least in their 50s.
So just minimal maintenance, just food, basically. And
well,
not too dirty
thank
water.
goodness she had a very caring veterinarian and Jesse White at the beginning. And he made sure she had a good diet. She probably got a lot of drugs. Had to deal with psychologically with a ridiculously little tank.
That's what I'm wondering. I mean, almost all the others died, that were in captivity.
Yeah, why did she make it? Well, I think, she had real serious love from the beginning.
Okay.
And it's probably still there. I don't think anybody that takes care of whales doesn't love them, but it isn't that the conditions that they can provide them are happy for every whale. A lot of them are real unhappy, and a lot of errors have been made, especially in the early years. They couldn't keep them alive for more than a year because they didn't feed them right. I mean, giving them salmon that are spawned out that they can't even use for cat food is not good. What do you expect? A bacterial infection. What do you expect? Deteriorating health and death.
They somehow got it right enough, with enough tender loving care to keep her alive.
Yeah, it's pretty astonishing. He was a good man,
Sure.
and there have been good people, and they made way more money than they paid for her, and she's earned her retirement.
Well, how do you think she'll react
Thousands
in
of
the
times.
first minutes and hours of coming back to a protected place with her people around that she knows and trusts, but in an ocean, in this ocean, in the Sailor Sea,
With tides and with shellfish and with kelp and with creatures, I think she'll be. Well, at first, there'll be a couple of days of like, where am I? But she'll have her people with her, so it's okay, it's okay. And then she'll check it out.
Yeah.
And then she'll, hey, this is pretty cool. This is a lot better. I don't want to put a value judgment in her head particularly, but she got a lot more space. She doesn't have to worry about bumping into something. She's got room. She's got natural things around her, things that she could probably remember from her so-called childhood or very early period.
I bet so.
Yeah, they don't forget stuff.
No.
Yeah,
Not.
I mean, we're brothers, and I remember you were my brother when I was a little kid.
Right.
Same person. And I remember pushing your wheel, your what do you call it, stroller? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was only maybe 6, and you were probably 1.
Yeah. The Northers are precocious when they're born. I mean, they're well developed.
Yeah, they got good memories.
Yeah. So she learned all that.
I don't doubt that she'll have a remembrance of what it was like.
Yeah.
And I don't doubt that she won't have a feeling of freedom to just, wow, this is really, 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 really nice. That was okay. I mean, she's still going to get fed. She's still going to get care. It's not like there's nothing for her to do. There's plenty for her to do now. She just doesn't get as much applause.
Yeah. Right.
But that was not the driver anyway. It was food.
Right. But you won't have to do certain routines to get food.
She'll still probably do routines for exercise.
Yeah.
But at some point, she won't need to do the routines that she did in her show. She can have her own routines. It's turning something over. There was this thing on the bottom that moves his little hands around when she turns it over. A crab,
Uh-huh.
for example.
Yeah.
That could be pretty fascinating. Maybe she had seen that in the past. Maybe she hadn't. But wow, and now a fish,
Uh-huh.
and there's another one. Yeah, they're not fillets. They actually come in, Costco size. Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, she'll love
I
it.
think it'll be stimulating.
Yeah.
Therapeutic.
Yeah, I don't have any doubts about that, and I don't really have any doubts that she could be moved safely. I mean, if they were to sell her to another park, they would take every effort to move her safely to the other park so that they didn't end up having to give the money back.
Yeah. Which
And
can be done. I mean,
which can be done. It's been done over and over and over.
A lot of experience.
That's the upside of having that ability. That you can move them around.
Right.
Just that no, you shouldn't take them out anymore because we learned that they don't do that well. Even though she survived that many years, it's because she's one that she's kind of won the lottery in terms of being with the right humans for long enough and cared for enough, and the right thing to do for her now, since she's more than paid for her retirement, is retire her and let her, if she wants, go out and listen to her family.
Yeah.
Go out and be with them. I mean, that's getting a little hopeful, but I think she'll do it.
I tend to think so.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even Keiko swam around those other whales. It's just that nobody really went out there to find out who his family was.
Yeah.
I mean, they sort of dabbled at it, but had they really seriously wanted to find out, they could have found out.
Yeah. But nobody's going to adopt an adult male into their natural line. We know that.
Yeah, that'd be a serious drawback to begin with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And whether or not she has any living relatives or mother is irrelevant. She has the language and she has the, she has the grammar school part.
Yeah.
So I think she'll do okay. And she'll be cared for anyway. So
exactly.
It isn't like you're doing some grand experiment and risking her life. I think it would be wonderful to see. Very heartwarming. So do it.
Which would also bring us back to the orcas being so iconic and beloved that the value is to help them, and that leads to understanding the ecosystem, the food supply, the connections with the rest of the habitat and ecosystem that shouldn't be damaged by extraction and utilization.
Yeah, if she can help people understand that, especially the newer people that are just coming up, going through their education process, if she can help people understand through actually state-of-the-art science that can be done with her at the time and relate it to what needs to be done on Earth.
So these topics are not really in complete isolation. I mean, Toki, Southern Residents, salmon, Elwha River, there's
all things are connected. Yeah. So
how are we doing?
Breach the dam.
Reach the dam.
Let the whale go.
Reach the dam.
Yeah.
So many beautiful videos. If you guys go to the Orca Network YouTube page, and that's just one of them where they're two brothers sitting there talking about their passion and their love for Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut. And so I wanted to share that with all of you. I do want to read Susan. I'm sorry, on StreamYard, I only get like cut off comments, but Susan commented, but she's watching on my page, not the Orca Network page. So I do want to read the experience she had, and then I want to go back to Raynell. So I'm going to read the full comment that Susan shared. Here's an experience Howie and I had 24 hours after Ken passed. December 16th, 2022, I woke up around 2:15 a.m. to use the bathroom and saw what I first thought was a deer out of the bathroom window. Then I realized it was too big for a deer. Then another came and another, and soon there were several dozen elk in the yard, right outside the front of the house in Ken's room. I woke Howie up and we watched through the sliding doors and side windows of Ken's room, where we had been spending so many nights with him. The front yard lit up by the white Christmas lights Callie had put on a large tree and strung along the fence, the side yard lit up by the rising moon. We watched them graze, milling around the yard, right off the deck for nearly an hour. As more and more kept showing up, we felt shivers, feeling it was a sign from Ken, as it was 24 hours after he passed. Filled with wonder and joy and peace as we watched them graze, suddenly a bright yellow shooting star slowly fell across the sky above the elk. Ken was letting us know he is okay. Then some of the elk started messing with the wreath and the lights on the fence, rearranging them as they tasted bits of the wreath and other nearby bushes. It was pretty funny watching them mess with the Christmas decorations, which left no doubt Ken was wanting us to laugh and feel better, and to let us know he had made the journey to the other side okay. We had asked him to send us a sign and let us know he was still with us in spirit after he passed. And there is no doubt in our minds this was a beautiful message from Ken. It was such a magical experience, and after a long, sad, stressful day, it brought us such joy and peace of mind. Ken is out there hanging with the elk herd along the Alwa before heading downriver and back out to sea to be with the orcas. Thank you, bro-in-law. We love you and miss you so very much, and never thought we would be feeling such joy and peace tonight. And that is from Susan, Berta. So Howard, Susan, and Kelly, and all of Ken's family, we love you, and you're in our hearts for sure right now. Raynell? Let's see. It's saying you've muted yourself. It won't let me unmute you. Darn. It's the weather. As soon as she tries to connect, it's saying device is not connected again, and put her backstage. So well, we know Raynell will come back on. Raynell, thank you for joining us today. And we're gonna end. It's a 9-minute video. If you didn't see this, I think it's CBS news clip on Ken. You should. So hang out and watch this. And as soon as the video is over, we will be off screen. But you guys have a beautiful week. Don't forget his candlelight visual on the solstice this Wednesday, December the 21st, anytime in the afternoon or evening, to go ahead and hold your vigil for Ken. So we love you guys. Thank you for joining us. And go ahead and play this now. You guys have a good week.
Because they were such and are often featured in films, orcas or killer whales are one of the most familiar forms of sea life. But in the wild, they're increasingly rare. For over 4 decades, a team of researchers has been studying 3 pods of orcas in the Pacific Northwest. The data collected has given an inside look at the endangered whales' family structures, their behavior, even their longevity. We met up with one man who's made it his life's mission to watch over and revive the whale population. Off the coast of Port Angeles in Washington state, there's a team that has whale watching down to a science. For the past 45 years, Ken Balcomb has taken to the waters of the Pacific Northwest, leading the Orca Survey, a long-term photo identification project focusing on what's known as the southern resident killer whale population of Puget Sound.
Well, this is where we had our very first encounter on the 8th of April, 1976. I saw a dorsal fin, and they were heading west, so we turned around and went with them.
At 35 years old, camera in hand, Balcomb was working for the National Marine Fisheries Service and tasked with counting how many whales were left after the practice of capturing killer whales from marine parks ramped up in the 1960s and 70s.
A lot of people didn't think we could find them. And then even my boss didn't think if we found them, we could tell them apart.
An impossible job made possible using photo ID techniques pioneered by a Canadian marine biologist. It turned Balcomb's hundreds of thousands of photos into a scientific database.
At that time, we had photographs, 35 millimeter pictures. That was a real key.
The results of the survey? Only about 70 orcas remained in the Sound, with an astounding 40% of the population having been taken into captivity or killed during a capture attempt. Balcomb's findings would help end the trade in killer whales in the Pacific Northwest. But the orca's man-made problems didn't stop there.
In the late 1980s, the whales stopped doing their regular pattern, and basically they weren't coming to Puget Sound twice a month anymore. It was fished out.
A depleted food supply, an issue that continues for the whales today, which greatly inhibits their ability to reproduce.
This is our indicator, advanced indicator, the canary in the coal mine kind of thing. If we lose the ball on the wild nature, humans are not going to last very long after that.
In response to what he's already witnessed, Balcomb founded the nonprofit Center for Whale Research to study the whales and use their findings to promote conservation. As we cruised along the Salish Sea, Balcomb told me that orca sightings were a weekly occurrence in these waters decades ago. The orcas have called this place home for many thousands of years, their presence first documented by the Native Americans. But on our voyage, we saw not a single one, a sad situation that Balcomb is working to change. Not at sea, but about 8 miles upstream on the edge of Olympic National Park. Balcomb took us off-roading for a look at both the source of the problem and a possible solution.
This is the Elwha River.
And it's essential to your operation.
It's essential for the whale's food.
Right.
It's going to bring salmon back to a pristine status where there'll be lots of food for the whales.
What happened to the salmon?
Well, on this river, it was dams. We had a dam about 2 miles south of us, and no fish passed that dam for 100 years.
The population of the Chinook salmon went from around 30,000 a year to almost zero. In an effort to restore the river's ecosystem, Congress authorized the removal of the Elwha Dam in 1992. After decades of planning, the largest dam removal in U.S. history began and was fully removed by March 2012.
This river had the biggest salmon that were in the Pacific Northwest. They were up to 125 pounds.
Really?
Huge fish. And they fed a food chain, and the whales were part of it. So now that the dams have been removed, this is starting to come back, and we want to celebrate it and, let the world know that that's how you do it. Recover the ecosystem.
And Balcomb went a step further. In October of 2020, at the age of 80 and without a job, His Center for Whale Research purchased this 45-acre ranch bordering both sides of the waterway, where the majority of the remaining Chinook salmon spawn. The $700,000 price tag looming over his head and his heart until a private donor stepped in.
When they called up and said, we want to pay it off, I was like, I started shaking. It was an honor. It still is. I don't have to worry about that.
And your legacy, everyone's legacy.
It's the whales. It's the whales. Yeah, it's for them. Oh yeah, there they go.
A healing process that Balcomb can now check in on and record whenever he wants. He took us to the section of the river where the salmon spawn, doubting that we would find any action. It was to our surprise.
Oh my gosh, they're way over there. They're over there. You see them?
Yeah.
Way over there. Something's going down.
If it can be done, Balcomb says, it will take 20 to 25 years to get the salmon back to their original numbers. But for now, the few fish we spotted together are a sign of hope.
We're really lucky.
I mean, to be able to just walk up and, oh, there they are. That's like walking up and seeing the whales go by.
So,
Yeah, it's not quite as exciting, but it's pretty exciting.
Last year, around 7,000 Chinook salmon were counted in this river.
this is the fruit of your labor.
This is it. This is what I wanted to see. Last year, I just saw 2. This year, what, you had 8 over there, or 2 or 3 here. They're still coming by.
So describe what that feeling is.
Oh, this is like, they're back. Where nature's coming back. It's just like, it's worth it. Money doesn't count. This counts. You know, this is whatever it takes.
What he's been able to do has really been compared to what Jane Goodall did in her work in East Africa with the chimpanzee. And you think about it, there are only 73 orcas left in
That's
Puget
insane.
Sound.